Hey guys, Tamara Ridge here, trauma recovery and relationship coach. And I want to talk about those times when everything is going well, there's nothing wrong, things are perfect, and you freak out. And the reason I want to talk about this is because what happens if we have a trauma history and then we're in a relationship and things are going really, really well, but something shows up? It does not matter if that thing reminds us of a past relationship or if it is so freaking different from our past relationship. Doesn't matter. Body says, oh, this thing is too different. It's time to freak out. Or this thing feels like the same. It's time to freak out. When that happens, if you have a trauma history and you suddenly feel confused and you're reacting as if something is going wrong when it isn't, guess what? That's normal. But we usually feel crazy when that happens. It usually makes us feel so bad about ourselves. And so I want to share a tool with you that I often share with my clients. I'm here in my home office tonight instead of in a beautiful garden because I wanted to share with you, and it's easier to understand on the whiteboard. So here's the deal. When it comes to trauma, there's only really three kinds of feelings. There's feelings that we have about the here and now. That means that those feelings have nothing to do with anything in the past. It's not a trigger. It's not old stuff. It's never happened before. So like if a bear runs in the room right now, that's going to be new and here and now, and I can react to those emotions in the moment, and that's okay. Or somebody does something really good for you and nothing else is going on and you're not feeling triggered. The thing to do when that happens is to get information and use that information to help you make a decision in the here and now. Right? So that's like easy problem solving, easy decision making in the here and now because there's no feelings that are interfering with the moment. Second kind of feelings related to trauma is a trigger. A trigger is when something from your trauma brain, something from your trauma training, tells you that something is happening in your present situation that represents a threat to you. Now, there could be something similar in relationship development, in normal relationship development, those triggers shows up. There's no way for that to not show up because relationships touch everything. But if you know that you're safe, then the thing to do when a trigger shows up is to teach your brain how to stay present. Essentially, to teach your brain that you're safe. And I have 6 steps to do that, which are super effective, so that you actually can neutralize the trigger and stay present in the moment as if it's here and now, and be able to make decisions and respond in the here and moment without any reference to the things that have happened in the past. The third kind of feeling is the feeling that comes up when there's a healed trigger. Now, you don't hear people talking about that a lot, but the reality is we all have a body history that holds all of the emotions that are connected to things that have happened in the past that are unresolved. When we've done the work of healing a trigger, there is a residual cache, storehouse of emotion in the body that when something similar happens, but we know that we're safe, the body goes, oh, I don't have to hold on to this anymore, and we'll release it. And so the appropriate response to that is to cry, to release it, to finish it. It's not the catharsis that happens in a therapist's office when you're finished crying, but you still feel traumatized. No, that's a trigger. And that's a therapist thinking you should release and that will heal it. What I will say is that the common problem that happens is we have one of these 3 kinds of feelings related to our trauma. And if we don't pair it with the right response, then what happens is we end up reinforcing and recreating the trigger. That's why when somebody asks you to talk about a trauma, you feel re-traumatized. It reinforces and holds that in your trauma brain as well as in your body history, and just creates another layer of, this is why I should be scared. So I just wanted to let you know that it's normal to have 3 different kinds of feelings. Here and now feelings, a trigger, and feelings that actually come up after a healed trigger. How do you know if it's a healed trigger? You have to know it by having actually taught your brain to stay present about an old trigger. And then your body will release it naturally. Then crying becomes nothing really different than peeing. It's getting toxins out of your body and actually releasing and finishing the healing process. But I just wanted to share that with you today, because sometimes we have the moment where everything is fine and we're doing okay, and something happens and everything is fine, but our body reacts in a way that tells us that we are not fine on the inside. That's a trigger. There are steps to healing it. Once it's healed, there still has to be a release. We can't just leave it behind and walk away. We can't just talk about it and cathart and then distract ourselves. It's not enough. So I wanted to put those things out for you so that you could understand that there's 3 different kinds of feelings. You should never feel bad about yourself based on a trauma response that you're having, because those trauma responses are normal. Your body is meant to heal. Your mind, emotional, spiritual self is meant to heal. But you have to understand what's really happening. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Tamara Ridge, trauma recovery and relationship coach. Talk to you next time. Bye.